Hello Divi Nation and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to download and install our free blog post template for Divi's engineering firm layout pack. This is the final result we're aiming to achieve. So without wasting a lot of time, let's dive in and let's get started. All right, so the first thing you need to do is to head over to this blog post, which I'll link to in the show notes below. So what you want to do is to download it. So I'm going to scroll down here, click on get it for free today, add my name and email address in here, click on download. And you need to click on download the files. Okay, so now that my files are downloaded here, the next step now is to unzip this folder. So I'm going to come over here, show in Finder, and here it is. So I'm just going to double click on it so I can open up this zipped file. Now it's very important that you open it, because if you don't, then it's going to be a problem trying to install it. So as you can see, I've opened it and this is a .json file. All right, so I'm just going to drag this over here to my other screen so I can go ahead and install this on our website. So over here, I have already gone ahead and logged into my WordPress admin dashboard. So to install the template, you want to scroll down here to a Divi and then click on theme builder. But before I can go into the theme builder, I'd like to show you what the blog posts look like so far. So I want to open up all these posts in a new tab, and so we can just do a quick preview of one of the blog posts. So I'm going to click here on view. And here it is. So this is a basic layout that comes with Divi when you first install it. So we want to change this by adding a template. So back over here now in our theme builder, what we need to do is to upload our file. So I'm going to click here on portability. Now remember, we unzipped this file earlier on and here it is. So what you need to do next is to click on import, since we want to import this design onto our site. Okay, so here it is again. I'm just going to drag and drop it here, or you can manually navigate and try and find it on your computer. Okay, so now that I have this set, all I have to do now is to click on import Divi theme builder template and making sure that these two items are checked. I'm going to click on that. And this is going to install this on all our blog posts, current and future ones. All right, so you can see here, this is a post template. It's well labeled. So if you just leave it like that, it won't work. In fact, I'll refresh this so you can see what I mean. So this will just stay the same. So what you need to do is to make sure you hit save changes. Every time you go in and customize it, you need to hit save changes here, so it saves everything here in the theme builder. So now when we come back over here and refresh this, you're going to notice that we have a totally brand new layout. And here we go. So as you can see, we have a title here, we have our image here, really well framed. We also have our metadata here on the left. We have a custom font here as well, and a read more button. So if I click here, you can see it just goes to this section of our site. And when I scroll further here, it has the author here. We have a bit of parallax also going on in the background here. And here we also have our recent posts and our comments. So as you can see, this now looks way different to what we had before. And we need to now go in and customize it in case you have a totally different color palette that you work with. So I want to go now in and show you how to go in and customize this to match the rest of your website. All right, so I'm going to come back over here to my theme builder. So what you want to do is to click on the pencil icon. So this now gets us into our blog post template. All right, so first things first, I'm going to come over here to my section settings. So over here, click on background, and this is where you can see the main background color, this blue here. So you can change this to whatever color you want, and this will update in your background. So I'm going to leave everything as it is and just close out of here. Next, let's take a look here at our main text here. So this is also dynamic text. So if I click on this gear icon to go into my module settings, you notice that this is a post or archive title. So this takes on the post name. So whatever your post you're creating is, it will just dynamically change to that. So let's say we want to customize this and change the fonts. I've clicked here on this paintbrush tool. So it's taken us to our font. So you can change this font to whatever you want. So let's say you want to go with pop-ins and perhaps make this bold, and maybe you want to change the size as well. This is where you can do all your adjustments. So that's your post title. And again, I'm not going to save any of this. I'm going to close out of here. Next, we're also going to take a look at this section here. So again, I want to go into the background, and as you can see, this again is where we can go in and change our colors. So if you want to change your colors to match your branding, this is where you would do it. I'll close out of here. And now we have all these metadata. So let's start off with the first one here. So I'm going to click on this gear icon, and as you can see, this is targeting our post author. So again, this is dynamic text, so this will change to whatever author it is on your site. Next, let's go and customize this. So let's say I want to change the font. I can just come over here and I can choose my font here like that. I can update my colors, and then I can also go into the link here, change the color, and then I can change the link text color as well. So as you can see, this is how you would go in and change pretty much all this metadata. So it's all dynamic text and it can be changed the same way. Next, over here we have this dynamic image. So I'm going to click here. So there isn't really much that we can do here. This is a featured image, so we'll just leave it as it is, but this is where it would go. Okay, so I'm going to close out of here. Next, we also have this post text. So if I click on this gear icon, again, this is post except this is dynamic text. So again, this will just give us a snippet of what this blog post is about. And if they need to read more, they can just click here on this button to then go to this part of the website. Okay, so now let's go in and let's try and customize this text to match our design. So if I come over here to design, I can go to our text here. And first off, we can go in and change the font. So let's say we want to go with Poppins. You can see here that has changed. I can also go in and change the colors to whatever color I want to match my branding. And once I'm happy with that, I can also adjust the size here, but I'm not going to commit to any changes. Next, we also have this divider here. So let's say you want to change the color of that. You can just come over here to design, click on line, and this is where you can change the color. Next, we also have our post content. So if I click here on this gear icon, we're going to go into our post content settings, and this is where we can go in and pretty much customize every single item here. So let's say I need to go into the paragraph text. I can change this into Poppins just like that, and this has updated. And I can also change my font color. I can also go in and change the titles here as well. So let's say I want to make them Poppins. I can just change it here. I can make it bold as well. Okay, so ideally you want to go in and change all these headings. Okay, right. So moving on, we also have another section here, and this is a blurb. So before I can go in and show you how to change this, let's change the background color first. So the color here is on the row. So here it is. I can change it like that. Pretty straightforward to change. Now let's go in and let's change this information here. So this is dynamic text as well. This will pull the post author, and this will also pull the author bio. So we can start here by going into the author, change the font. We can change the title. We can also go into the description here and change the colors. We can also change the font, just like how we were doing before. And that is how you update that. So next, let's take a look at this image. So now I'm going to go into my module settings, and design wise, I think the changes here has been done on the filters. So as you can see here, we have a bit of a sepia tone. So if you're not a fan of that, you can just remove it completely. And or if you want, you can just reset the saturation here so you can see that we can have it normal here. But if you want to play around with this and change the contrast, saturation, and so forth, you can do it over here. Okay, so moving on, now let's go on to the next part, which is this section here. So I'm going to click here to go into our section settings. Now let's go to the background first and show you where we can change the color. So this is where we can change our background color. And like I mentioned before, all you have to do is to go in and change all these colors to suit your brand colors. So again, this is our text. So I can just go in here and just update this font to match our branding. So over here, So I can just change this to poppins, just like that. If I need to change the color, I can just go in and change it like that. Okay, so let's move on. And now we are taking a look now at this module, and this module is called the blog module. So on the blog module, you can go in and set all the related posts. So you can go in and also specify what text you want and what colors you want for that as well. Okay, so let's move on to the next part. Again, here we have this image. So if you want to make custom changes to this image, this looks like it has a sepia tone to it as well. So you can just go in and click on design, filters, and let's just put this in frame so we can see exactly what we're doing. So you can see here, if I increase the sepia tone and if I reduce it, this is what happens. Now here we can also set our saturation back to 100 so we can really see the color of our image right here. Okay, so moving on, we also have a section here. Now this section here is important because it has a bit of a design to it, and this is called a divider. So I'm going to come over here to design. Now, if you're not sure where all the changes were made, you can just click on these three little dots here and click on view modified styles. And this now will just show you where everything was changed. So I can see here that on the bottom divider here, this is what we have, and this is the shape here that we have. So I can change this shape to whatever shape I want. So you can see I've just changed it there to that, or you can just remove it completely if you're not a fan of that divider. So now we just have a straight line. Okay, so let's move on to the next part. And this is our mailing list. So this part here is very important because we want to make sure that when someone adds their name and email address, they get added onto our mailing list. And to do that, the very first thing you want to do is to make sure you have an email service provider. Without that, this won't work. So over here on email account, this is where you want to choose your service provider. Currently, we have just MailChimp by default, but we have a list here to choose from. So as you can see, we also have Fluent CRM here, Get Response, and so on. So once you choose that, you select your list, click on add, and then we also have another important item to customize here, and that is the success action. So you can either have a message that shows when someone hits subscribe, or you can choose to redirect them to a specific thank you page. So I would prefer a specific thank you page, but if you're lazy, you can just add a message here. Now, the thank you page can also have information to other things, like maybe encouraging them to say follow you on social media and so on. Okay, so that is how you update this. I'm going to close out of here. Now, moving on, we also have these shapes which you can change. These are divider shapes. You can always change them in the section settings. All right, so now that we've gone through this, let's just have a quick look one more time at our blog post template design. So I'm just going to scroll through this. So every time you change your images, the images are going to be added there. And we have a lot of dynamic content, which means that it'll just take on all the information that you would have added throughout your blog post. So there you have it. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and do follow us on our social media platforms. By doing so, you'll be notified every time we release new tutorials. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.